So please put in your effort, and then what I really want you to guys to do is reach out to each other and put it in a chat, and then then I'm there always to help you. So the reason we are doing this is we are learning Linux, and then we're going to learn some scripting, Ansible, and a little bit of AWS. So everybody might have heard about AWS, right? Anybody who didn't hear about AWS? Everybody heard about Amazon, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Amazon is not just selling things online. They are a big IT company. Amazon is not just a retailer, they are a big IT company. And they don't make money from selling stuff, they make money from providing services, which is they have huge data centers. Let me see if I could find the pictures.
Cloud computing, right, sir?
Yeah. So this is a data center. This is like rows and rows. I work for Apple. They have 1 million servers, not in one place, but throughout the world. They have 1 million servers. And 95% of those I could tell you confidently that they were Linux. And in Linux, they were using Red Hat. So there is an unlimited amount of jobs are out there. And with the virus going on, you might just end up working remotely from home. All right, so don't be scared that Linux is hard and everything. No, it is not. So far, what you have learned is not hard. If you tell me it's hard, then I have to explain you again. Okay, so please, what we have learned is just the silly commands, and this is what this you'll be using most of the time. The commands. Okay, so let's get going. So let's see, I covered the copy command. I covered touch and I covered the path also, right? Move, copy, covered. Yeah, path also. And what else? Okay, so let's see. I did move, copy, cat. Okay, so I need to start off from cat. Okay, so today is 4/18/2020. So the cat, there is a command called cat. Okay, so cat stands for, what does it stands for? It stands for concatenate. CONCATNATE. Okay, what it means it reads the file. Okay, so let's take a look here how it is going to read. So let me clear the screen. ls So it reads the file here. It doesn't read the folder. It reads the file. So we have a file name file here. So if I type cat and the file 1 and I hit enter, it read the file here. Now since the file is empty, it doesn't have anything in it, okay? Makes sense, right? If the file is empty, there is nothing you could type in there. I mean, if the file is empty, it's not going to show us anything on the screen. Okay, so I do cat. File is empty. So the output is blank. Okay, so let's write something to the file using the cat command, okay? There are other ways you could write into the file, but let's try using the cat command, okay? So what I'm going to do is cat and then the greater than sign and file 1. Okay, so go ahead and type this cat greater than cat space greater than space file 1 and hit enter. Okay, what will happen is it will take you to the blank new line, and this is where you could type some text in here. So what I'm going to type is this is Linux, and if I hit enter, it goes back to line 2, and then you can't go back to line 1 anymore. I am enjoying Linux. This is a good course. And I hit enter and I do Control D. When you do Control D, what it does is it saves and exit the file, okay? So now, if I do cat file 1, and there is the content of the file is in there. Okay, everybody with me so far?
So you actually save a data in a folder, right, sir?
File.
Like in a yes, file. Yeah, correct.
For me, I did Command D, and I should have done Control D, and so it took me. How do I get back?
What happened to you? Give me the screen.
Okay, just a second. So it's gonna be. Give me 1 minute. Terminal. Oh, WebEx.
No. Give me
TeamViewer,
yeah.
TeamViewer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you want the ID? It's different, I think now.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
16413. Oh, the ID is fine. The password is different. It's J,
Yeah.
small J, B as in boy, V, 649.
649. Okay, so
Can I minimize this?
yeah, you could minimize this black window. Yep, minimize that one too. The one behind this white screen. Yeah, so click in there
Okay.
and do hit enter. See what happens. So it's going on to the next line.
Yeah.
Do control command D.
Command D.
It's opening the.
Is it like the multiple the different windows? Is
Yeah,
that what
yeah,
it is
it's
doing?
yeah, so do command C, see what happens.
It's not doing anything.
Okay, go ahead and let's see. So I did control C from my window, it
Okay.
worked.
Okay. So I do that. So it's control. Clear. Okay. So I
Okay,
can go back and do what I was doing.
yeah, yeah, just close this. Can you close this here? New tab with profile. Huh, what is this here? I should be able to get out of this. Mark show. I have no idea. I mean, how you would get out of this. Maybe you want to just close this and come back in here again.
Okay.
Yeah, click terminate.
Okay. 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 Okay.
You know, sometimes it remembers it, right? Push the up arrow key, see what happens.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it remembers. Okay, all you have
And
to do is
then
just password.
the red head, right?
Yeah.
Red. Red. Okay, let me try again. Red. Okay.
Okay, so
And then we did
do
cat.
yeah.
Uh,
No, then you hold on before you hit enter. Yeah, there is a greater than sign on the keyboard
oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
and file one.
Yeah. And then I'll just write this.
Yeah, type something there.
Okay. And then hit enter.
Hit enter, and then to exit this, do command C and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. It's not doing anything. So I have control. Should I use control D?
You have control on your keyboard?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then use that one.
Okay.
Okay,
There.
yeah. There
Okay.
you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So now what happens is when you do a regular cat file 1, this is the output because it read inside the file. Okay. All right. So let me copy this. Okay, now if I do like cat again greater than sign file 1 and hit enter, so this is Red Hat Linux, and I hit enter and I do control D. So what will happen if I do cat file 1? So what happened here if I do cat file 1, it will override. It will override whatever you have inside the file 1. So you have to be careful what you're using this file for, okay? Greater than sign, I'm sorry, greater than single greater than sign, it doesn't care what you have in it. When you run this command, it will start deleting everything inside the file and start from the top. Okay, so what that is very not good idea to do that. So I'll show you how to go around it. So I do paste, and what I'm gonna do here is so for example, if you have like 1,000 lines in it in the file, if you have 1,000 lines in it and you run this command in here, it will delete all the 1,000 files in it. So you got to be careful how you're going to use it. So to go to circumvent that issue, what we're going to use is we're going to use double greater than sign. So you do cat greater than two greater than signs and file1. Okay, remember this line is already in there. This is Red Hat Linux. Okay, so I'm going to do file1 and hit enter. So what will happen is it will start adding after this line. Okay, so I'm gonna say this is line 2, this is line 3, this is line 4. Okay, I hit enter and I do Control D. So what will happen is this line should be there, and on top of that another 3 lines should be there. Okay, so let's take a look. Cat file1, and there it is. So it kept the previous lines here. So whenever you use two greater than the lines, it will start from the bottom of the file. So if you have 1,000 lines inside the file, it will create new lines here, 1,001, 1,002, those lines. It will create from the bottom of the file. Okay. All right.
That double greater than sign is like actually used for to update the file, right? Or just to insert more data in
Second one.
more content in it.
Yeah, second one. To add to it. To add to the file. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Good.
But it's gonna start from the very end of the
Yeah.
file where it just stopped. So what if we have like a problem in the line number 2 that we have to add something over there?
Yeah.
So
That's a very good question. We'll cover that too. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Good. So what this is called is the greater than sign is called the redirector. Okay. What is it called? It's called redirector. But you know what? Actually, hold on. Let me hold off on that one. Let's see here. Uh, clear. I I showed you officially the clear command, right? Clears the screen. Yeah. Okay. Let me get the definition of concatenate. Link things together in a chain or series. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about it, but you guys got the concept, right? What concatenate means is the cat command is reading it as well as it's putting things together. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's move forward here. And so what I want to do is I do ls here, and I have this file here, right? So what I want to do is I want to read this file, and at the same time I want to put this the output. So if I do cat file1, so what I want to do is I don't want to see this on the screen here. I want to put this into another file here. So I do cat file1, then I do greater than and file2. Now remember, file2 doesn't exist here. I did ls here, file2 doesn't exist, right? But what happen is in this scenario, if the file2 doesn't exist, it will create one for you. And then if I hit enter, what happens is when I do cat, this part. What is this part? When I do cat file1 enter, what happens? Anybody?
All the things that you wrote in the file.
Well, one more time, sorry.
When we hit cat space file1, and we get the output we get is whatever is in the file.
Exactly. I was looking for the term output.
Okay.
Okay, so the output here, it comes on the screen here, right? But when we do this here, the output is redirected to file2 here. Okay, so there is no output on the screen because when we use this is called redirector here. Okay, there are three kinds of redirector we're gonna use, but I'll show you a little later. Okay. So when we use the redirector, it went into file2 here. Remember, file2 didn't exist earlier. So if I do ls, so it went into file2. File1, file2 was not there. So if I do cat file2, what will happen? The content which is supposed to show up on the screen here, it went into file2, and this content is inside file2. There you go.
So actually, it's like copying a data, or it's like transferring a data.
No, not transferring means cut and paste.
Yes,
It's copying the data.
it's copying the data.
So if you do cat file1, the data is still there in that file1.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good. Good. So what I'll do is. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, can you go on mute, please? Okay, so this is a reading a file, and this is a writing to a file. Okay, and then uh, overwriting a file. Okay, writing a file, overwriting a file, and then now this one is adding to a file. Okay, and then this is redirecting our output to another file. Okay, now I could do this for multiple files also. Cat file 1 and file 2, and then I could do this to file 3. So what is going to happen now? All the content of the file 1 and all the content of the file 2 is going to go into file 3. So content of the file 1 goes in first, then content of the file 2 goes into file 3. So we have 4 lines, right? The file 3 should have 8 lines in there. So file 3 didn't exist, but now it does, because we are using this. And if I do cat file 3, and you should have all these 8 lines in there here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Alright, it's getting complex here, right? Stop me if you have questions, please.
I have one. Um, just a little bit cross over my head actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you use cat file 1, file 2, double greater than, uh, then use file 3. So that means you are taking a data of file 1 and 2 and just going forward towards file 3, right?
Yeah,
Or it's like,
exactly.
oh, it's like that, okay. So it's not like you are taking a data of file 1 into 2 and then it's going towards 3.
No.
Like, okay.
From file 1 is going into 3, and from file 2 is going into 3. So if you do, let me clear. Oh, okay. Give me 1 second here. Let me just finish this. Okay, so let me clear this. So if I do this file 1, file 2, So the content is the output is displayed on here, but output is redirected to the um, file 3 here. Did you get it? It's just the output here. Output I mentioned.
Can you repeat again, sir? Your just voice just got cut. So.
So what is this here? If you're seeing something on the screen, when you run the command, if you're seeing something on the screen, that's output, right?
Yes.
But when you use the redirector, this is a redirector greater than sign. Instead of seeing this in the screen, you are sending it to the file 3.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. That's all it is for now.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so now you get the idea. Like you may have like 4, 5, or 6 files in there, and then you could redirect to another file. Okay, just be careful how you're gonna use the greater than sign and a single greater than sign, double greater than, and single greater than. It all makes a difference here. So if you do something to a configuration file and you just did a single redirector, it will crash the system.
So you always have to make sure that you have a double redirector, right?
Yeah, I mean you just have to use the judgment at the moment. Are you using it for?
And what if we have a one more condition that suppose cat file one, file two, double redirector, file three, and file four. So all the data is gonna go towards file three and file four, right? Or you cannot do it.
Now you could try it. Now, I mean in daily life, I don't do that here, but you have a definitely you could try that on your own and let me know how it went. Okay.
Okay, okay.
All right, that's a very good question, and that is actually a very good learning curve. That tells me that you are getting or grasping the content here. Very good. So, so actually, what is this called? Is a manipulating the file. Okay, so you're changing around, manipulating the file. Okay, so now we're gonna come back to the there is one other thing called it's editor. We'll come back to there a little later here. So let me complete with some other commands. Then we'll see how it goes. So the cat command is there, right? So let's learn about grep. Okay, there's a command called grep. What it does is it filters out the content inside the file. So I'm gonna do grep file 3. Okay. Uh, oh no, hold on, my bad. Cat file 3. So I'm gonna do grep cat file 3. So I'm gonna do grep um, Linux file 3. So can you tell me what happened here?
You
It
actually
cop
you actually filtered the file. that specific folder file 3 and you are finding a word Linux.
Okay, very good. And Alia, what were you saying?
Something else, but I got what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Good, very good. So what is grep is just a filter here. Okay, so what happened here is when you do grep and then the Linux, what it did was it filter out the words which we were looking for Linux here. So you can use it as a filter. So it actually filters out the word and then output it will bring out the entire line. Okay, this command is used as filter for specific uh, specific word, and then output will be the each matching lines. Let's see if it does this too. Asterisk, if I put asterisk in there, so it's doing this here. So you got the idea. You could use multiple. You could use the multiple commands you learned, and then what is this L and then asterisk means?
You are actually finding like an alphabet.
Yeah, no, anything that is starting with L and an asterisk. So anything that is kicking off with L, bring that output result. So here it's doing the Linux here, and in here it's bringing this here because L is the line. It's matching this criteria. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm not going to officially put it in here, but you got the idea how you could manipulate here because I think I have showed you here, right? The asterisk. Oh, it was part of a remove command. So over here, file. So this is the output. I'm going to do this here. No, it's okay. It's going to add to the confusion here. But you guys are good so far, right? Any questions?
Why one?
Yeah.
Do we have while we are using grep Linux file 3, so we are actually filtering like Linux. So can we use like a couple of words or we one word at a time?
Yeah. Most of the time I use one word here. So let's see here. Linux, and then let's do 3. So it's not matching it actually.
Okay, yeah. So
It does only
one
one
word at a
word,
time.
yeah.
And also other thing is while you are filtering, so you have to use cat first where you want to filter it, and then you're gonna use grep, right?
Yeah.
It's always gonna be like that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really have to use the cat. I mean, if you know, if you are in going in and out of file, you already know, then you will use it. So the use case scenario would be to filter through the thousands of lines. Soon you will learn there will be log files, right? Error log. There will be a log files that will be reading errors, and what you could do is you could read through those.
Okay.
So let's see here. There is a file here, cat slash var log messages, and there is a file in here, and suppose this is a thousands of files in there. So if you want to filter it out with something here, so if you want to see, let me run this command here. Okay, so this is bizarre, right? You want to say, oh, okay, this is giving me too much information here, but if I want to just filter out something using this here, so let's do cat, no, grep. So let's do this here, grep. By the way, what kind of what kind of so this part, what kind of path is this? Anybody? We learned this last week.
Um,
This is absolute path.
Very good. Who was
yes.
that?
Yeah.
Very good. I think everybody had the answer, but he said it. But that is
Yeah,
the
it was slow.
absolute one. Yeah. All right. So let's run that and see what happens here. So what it did here is it filtered out. It brought us the lines which has
DHCP4,
yeah
yes.
DHCP in it. Okay. Now you could see the benefit of what we have learned so far. So that tells me how many lines we have in a file here. So there is a command to check how many files you got in the how many lines you got in the file here. So what you do is there is a call wc word count. There is a command called word count. WC stands for word count. Okay, so if you do WC file 3 and hit enter here. So what is this here? So let's dissect this. Can you go on mute, please? So we have this command here, WC this here. So let's split this up. What does it means here? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 blocks here. All right. In here, I'm going to put down. This is the information we got, right? 8, 32, 146, and file 3. So what is this here is So we have this information here. But how do you know what is this here? So I'm going
So
to.
can I tell?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So there are 8 lines,
Good, very good.
32 words, and
Yeah.
146 characters in file 3.
Okay, very good, very good. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Okay, so these are the character count, and these are file name. All right. Any questions? Okay, no questions. That means we're all good. Okay, good, good, good. So now the next command is going to be pipe. Uh, Pipe. It's called pipe. It looks like this here. The command is the symbol is on the. If you look on your keyboard, there is an enter, right? Okay, let me bring on the onboard keyboard here. Okay, so this is the keyboard, and look for this here, right above enter. There is a little vertical line here. It's called pipe. So to get that activated, you have to do shift and then push this, and that line will show up here. Okay, it just looks like a little line here, but that line is called pipe. Pipe. Okay, so this line, this is used for multiple commands. I mean, there are various ways you could use this here. What you could do is you know what? Hold on, I think I forgot. You could do WC-L and you do file 3. So it gives you only the lines here. So let me just be done with WC command here. WC-L, it will bring you the lines. And if you do WC-W, it will give you this here, and WC-C, it will give you the characters. Okay? Alright, I want to complete this before I move on. So you could filter it. Okay. So any questions about this? I mean, I think it's pretty clear here that we are using a filter. -L with WT command, this is built in. This only works with WC-L and a -W-C. Okay, so let's move on to pipe here. This uses a multiple commands here. So how are we going to use this? Okay, so what you could use the pipe command is, you could do cat file 3, and then when you do pipe, you could do grep Linux, and it's almost the same command here. Okay, so the cat is single, and then command, and grep is another command. So this command runs first, and whatever the output of that command, in that output of that command, it's running this command here. Okay, so I think
Explain this again. So, what is the purpose if we can just get for that line, the pipe? Why are we using it?
uh, no, this is an example here, but what we are trying to understand is the pipe. When you do pipe here, you could may use this as a combination of other commands here. So what
Thank you.
pipe allows you to run multiple commands in the same line.
Okay.
But you know what? Hold on, let me rephrase it. So what it does is it will run the first command, and then the grep command is only working on the output of the cat command here. So let's do cat file 3, and here it's not reading. Now the grep file comes in and then reads into the output, and then it's executing it on the output here. It's not executing on the file 3 here. Okay, remember that. It is used for multiple commands, and then so this is the primary command because it's starting from the line, and this is the secondary command. And then uses multiple commands. Then pipe secondary command. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Now you're not restricted to only grep here. Okay. So let's see what else you could do. Uh, you might just have to play around and see how you could use a specific command. Uh, let's see if we could do this here. Then I do another pipe and I do WC. Okay. So what is happening is it's just reading this here. It read the file, then it filtered out Linux using Linux, and then it's reading the content of the file here. So why is it only 2 lines and 44 characters and 10 words here? Because of the output here. The output is only this much here, so that's why it's coming up to only 2 lines here. It's not reading the entire file here. Okay, so the output for this is the whole 8 lines, and then output for this is filtering out is 2 lines, and then it's giving this output for us here. Okay. Let's see what else you could use. Alright, so as you progress through the course here, you will get more ideas how you will be using this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is um, let me clear this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a file here and I'm gonna put about 15 lines in there, okay? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is this is line 1. This is line 2. This is line 3. This is line 4. This is line 5. Line 6.
May I ask you something?
Yeah.
Since we're just writing the same line, like this is line 1, 2, and 3, can we do like
Yeah.
the way to like copy and paste here and then just change 6,
Yeah.
7, 4? Can we do
Yeah.
that? How do we do that? Same as
You can do with cat. There is a VI editor I'm going to show you later. Then in there we
okay.
could do it.
Okay.
Line 5, 6, 7. This is line 8. This is line 9. This is line 10. This is line 11. This is line. This is line. So if I do cat file 4, so I have 15 lines here, right? So I just want to have a file which I'm going to show you. We're going to use some different commands here, new commands, and see how we're going to use this here. So there is a command. You could use head, HEAD, file 4. So what it does is head is a command. It reads through the file and brings you top 10. By default, it brings you top 10 lines. Okay, the command is head. Okay, so these are top 10 lines here. Okay, but if you want to see only 5 lines here, so you do -5. So it gives you only 5 lines. If you want to read more than 5, more than 10 lines, you do like head -12. It will give you 12 lines. Okay, so it's up to you how you're going to use it. By default, it's going to give you 10 lines here. But if you want to filter out how many ever lines you have, Remember, in real world scenario, you will be dealing with thousands of lines of files here, okay? So this will come handy for you. All right. So now we have head. Now we have a file that has thousands of lines in it. How are we going to read the bottom of the file? Okay, so what we do is tail.
Larry.
Tail file 4. So by default, it's reading from the bottom of the file going up, and it will display top 10 files. Top 10 lines, I'm sorry. Tail command gives you top 10, bottom 10 lines. Now it's the same thing here. If you want to see bottom 12 lines, you do this here. If you want to see only bottom 5 lines, there you go. All right, so you got the idea, right? How you could manipulate here. And if you want to see last 20 lines, same thing. If it's 20 lines, it will display it for you. If not, then it won't. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna put this in. Okay, good. Okay, so now if you want to go through like a very huge file and it has a lot of lines in it, right? But you won't be able to but you want to see like here, if I do cat var log messages here, right? It just quickly went through this here. I didn't have a chance to read from the top of the line. So let's see how many lines it has. I want to see how many lines this file has. Or how do I do? What do I do? What command I do? I run.
We can do the WC command with
Yeah.
with this absolute path.
Yeah, very good. Either I could do or I grab it here. I do WC. Okay. So how many lines I have here? How many lines I have?
250,000 something.
No, this one is for lines. So 21,000.
1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you could see here we just installed this operating system. It doesn't even have like too much information in it, and it still already has 21,000 lines in there. Okay, so what happens is I want to move through this. So what I'm going to do is there is a command called more. Okay, and I hit enter. So what it's doing here is it's loading 10 lines at a time. So where did the more command started here? So it is loading 10 lines at a time here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Usually, let me clear this here. So where is the command starting here? Actually, it loads the file to fill your display, fill your existing display here. So let's see here. Let's see more. So it's gonna display. It's gonna display only the lines that fits in the size of the screen here. Okay. So but that's not what this is for. Okay. What the more is used for is, I'll tell you. This is a more command, right? Okay, so more is primarily used for huge files. So what is actually doing is this command will actually load the entire file into the memory. Okay, and then if I hit enter here, it is going through line by line here. Okay. And then if I use a space bar, so it goes by page. So if I have this highlighted here, it jumps page to page. So it jumped the page. Space bar. Okay. So you have those options here. So what else you could do is you could do more -10. So you're setting the default as 10 lines. Okay, so you see 10 lines here no matter what. It's gonna go 10 lines here. So if you hit enter, you you line by line, but if you hit space bar, you moving 10 lines at a time. More hyphen 10 file name. Moves 10 lines at a time using spacebar. Okay, and if you do here, if you hit enter, or if you do spacebar, it moves here. So you see it is only like 1% or 2% here. So this is not very efficient. So I'm gonna control exit here. So but I'm gonna put in some information here also.
Say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So to get out of there, you said control exit.
Control C. After control,
Control.
all the time try using Control C to quit.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so the more or you know what? Hold on. Okay, you use Q on your keyboard to quit it. Control C works too, but for specific files like reading and like this, you could use Q also.
Control Q?
No,
Or
just Q.
Just Q. Okay.
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 Quits the file. Q to quit the file. And it's not good when the memory is low. Okay, all right, that's enough information. There is a lot of information you could have about each command here, but that is good enough for now here. Okay, but now since more is not efficient, there is a command called less. Okay, so this command uh, also reads the file in a similar way as more, but it only loads the file as needed. It only loads the output. Okay, so when I type, let me clear this. I do less, and then I do this here. So only 10 lines are displayed here. Whatever this default is, only these many lines are displayed, loaded into the memory. Okay. So if I hit enter here, or now if I do space bar, oh god, what is this? So if you do this here, and if you do space bar, you're moving through this here line, page wise. And if you do enter, you're using a single line. Okay, so it's moving, it's doing the same exact thing as more command, but it doesn't loads the page. I mean, it doesn't load the entire file into the memory, okay? Same thing with less, space -10, and the same thing will happen, okay? It loads 10 lines per line, 10 lines at a time. Okay, same thing. It's moving 10 lines at a time. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about it too much. You're gonna learn as you go through, okay? Alright, so now if you are dealing with the smaller file, there is a command called sort, and it sorts alphabetically, okay? So let's do sort file. Oh, what was it? File 4, right? Yeah. Let's see if it's gonna work. Sort file 4. Okay, so what it's doing here is actually it is sorting all the words here. So it actually sorts the first word, and then the second word, and then base third word, and then the last word. So now you could see based on here, it's going alphabetically here. This is alphabetically here also, this line, but this is, you get the idea here, right? So let's see here. Let me create a file here. Cat file 5. I'm gonna say no, I'm gonna say D X Y Z A F B Q D M M N G A N. Okay, that's good enough here. So I'm gonna do cat file 5, so it just displays what it is here, right? But if I do sort file 5, so it is doing alphabetically. Any questions? So here, okay, I think somebody would have a question in here, right? So sort file 4. Okay, do you know how this is working? It's sorting the first, it's sorting the first field, second field, third field, and fourth field. Since it's already this is line, all these are same, then it's sorting through line, the fourth line. And you could definitely see E comes first, F, then N, O, S. So it's doing the hard work for you.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So
But can
yeah, go ahead.
we can yeah, but can we sort according to the numbers?
Uh, let's see if we could do this here. So now, if you want to read more about the specific command, you have to type man sort. What does man stands for is manual. So the command when you type man sort, you will open up a file that will give you more information about this here. So you're reading more information about sort file. So -b, ignore leading blanks. D, directory order. I, ignore non-printing. M, so N, it says numeric sort. It says numeric sort. Yeah, so you have to use -n. So let's see. Sort -n file 5. So it didn't do anything, it just did with alphabetically. So let's see here. Uh, cat file 6. I'm gonna say 11 5 4 12 20 199 1 8 20. Okay, all right, that's good enough, right? So I do sort and then -n file 6. So there you go, it did it for you. Okay, so you use -n for numeric here. So now anytime you have to read something more about the file here, you type man. This means manual, right? Manual, or what do you say is a guide for the command. Now remember, what I'm showing here is what we use normally here. If you want to have a specific need, you could do the man pages for all the commands we did so far. Okay, you do man cat. This is a this is a guide how to use the cat command here. There's a lot of switches and all those things here. If you do this is called switch. A lot of things you could do here. If you want, you could read up on it. But the ones we are using is the ones we needed all the time. So it's a man. Okay, so man, you type the name of the command and it will open up a manual for you. So the more specific term is user's guide. So sort the file alphabetically and sort -n file name, uh, sorts using numerically. So don't worry about it. You're not going to use all this as much, but the there are so many things you could do using this. Okay, and let's see here. Uh, what else I have here? We did less, more. How much time do we have? We got 20 more minutes. Okay, so let's see here. So there is a command called unique, UNIQ. It will sort through the files and brings up the unique words. So let's see here, UNIQ, unique file 3, right? Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there is no unique about this. So let's do clear this. I'm going to create a cat file 7. Okay, so I'm going to go here, apple, apple, pineapple, strawberry, berry, and what else? Mango, avocado. Okay, and let's do. Alright, so I'm gonna quit and let's see what happens. I do unique file 7 and see what happens. Okay. So what it did was anything which is repeating, it took it off and then it just gave you the unique words in here. Okay. And then I think you could do hyphen berry and it does that for you. No, it won't do it. I think you could do the grep command. It wouldn't be any unique anymore. So just use this here for the smaller files. You could use this here. Okay. So you could use the files in combination with other files using the pipe command. Okay. That's what the pipe is used for. Everybody with me, right? Still with me, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Yes.
All right. So there are some silly commands. I'm gonna breeze through them right now. So I'm gonna clear this. I'm gonna type date. It will display the date. Okay. Date command. It will displays the date. Display the system date. Okay, system date could be something else. Okay, compared to what you, because a big corporation, when I worked for Apple, they were using the date they were using was the Greenwich time, the time which they have in London, no matter where the server is located. And cal, it displays the calendar. Okay, cal. Okay, and let me clear this, and you type uptime. It will show you the uptime for the system here. Okay, so it says this is the time, and it's up, and it's been 1 hour 37 minutes, and there are 2 users logged in, load average, and it has some silly information here. So this is just the uptime information.
So, sir, I have a question. I also did this uptime, and at my screen also it is showing two users. So, who are those two users? One is obviously going to be me. The other one
Is
for you
you.
as well. So what is this information?
Yeah, that is, you're logged in twice.
Okay.
Aren't you logged in twice? I was expecting this, so you did this. So tell me, how are you logged in twice? I'm telling you, you are logged in twice. So how are you? How so?
I think
Okay.
once when
Okay.
we, okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I was saying that once is I think with the putty and the other is with the Oracle
Yep,
that
yep, exactly. That's what it is. You were gonna say the same thing, Ali?
Something like that.
I'm sorry, what was it? Okay, actually the uptime is since system is up since last time. So this is up since, I have one system here. It's been running for a while here. So let me see how long it's been. Okay, this is up for 15 days here. When I worked for Apple, there were systems that are running for like 1,000 days, 2,000 days, 3,000 days. They were never been shut down or rebooted. Okay, so don't be surprised if you have like a system which has never been shut down or restart for 5-6 years. That is the beauty of Linux here, because it's a very stable operating system. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay, so that brings us to the who command. Who, it will tell you who is logged in from where. So right now root is logged in, and this is when the root logged in, and this is where the IP address the root logged in from. This is displaying the IP address of the router. This is the router IP address. Don't worry about this at this moment here. We'll go a little deeper when we have some networking there. All these are lowercase here. The Word document is just, auto correcting it. So if you see a command which is uppercase or lowercase, just make sure we are using it lowercase here. Most of the commands are lowercase. Sometimes there are some commands which may be uppercase. Okay. So free. Okay, so when you do free-h, it will display you the memory information here. So it has this much of memory is there, 1 gig. It's not going to show you the full size of the memory. You have on your iPhone, when you have iPhone, it says 16 GB, but when you actually see 16 GB is not available, right? That's how this is with systems. It's not going to show you everything here. Okay, swap is actually virtual memory. Okay, we'll come back to the memory information later, not now. Okay, all right. So what else? And when you type DU is the disk usage information. So this present working directory, the disk usage is 52 kilobytes. And all these are barely using this. So let's see which one is the biggest file here. File 5, right? So we could use du file 5, and it's giving us the size of the du file 5. Let's see how much is 6 and 7. Alright, let's see the size for du/var log messages, and the size is, this size is 222 kilobytes. It's gonna show this is in kilobytes here. Okay, so there are other switches we're gonna learn later on how we're gonna manipulate that. So this will show us the disk usage information. By default, it shows in kilobytes here. Okay, so what else? Okay, I have all this here. So if you type last, it will show you the last login and reboot activity. Okay, so here is the last command. This is when somebody logged in at this time here. It gives you a lot more information here. So root logged in at this time, and this is what it is. And a reboot happened here and last. So it gives you the reboot as well as who logged in last information here. Okay. All you have to type is just last. Okay, so I did -10. It gave me a who logged in last 10 people. Last 10 last activity. Okay. Okay, what else? When you type who-r, it will give you the run level. Okay, yeah, don't worry about this here. I'll come back to this later. What else? du is there. Last. Okay, so top, when you hit top and hit enter, it will give you the system resource information here. So there will be a different session here that will go deeper in here, but just remember this will give you the system resource information here. So you will have a CPU here, how much a CPU is being used, and it will give you information about the memory. So this is like a live information here. It displays the live information about the system. And then you push Q to quit this. Okay, so moving along. Um, yeah, you got a question?
No, sir, I was just saying I had to go somewhere. It was 10 o'clock. Can I leave?
Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna end now. Sorry, I didn't see the time here, so it's almost 10. All right, so we'll end here
Okay.
and catch up right off tomorrow at the same time.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Allah
you.
Hafiz.
Thank you.